One of the first days I was interning on Capitol Hill, we were walking around the Capitol, just kind of learning. It was an amazing feeling just to be like, I'm in the middle of all this right now. As long as I can remember, politics and current events has always been my interest. I've always kind of wanted to be here in DC. I think the Republican Party is sort of searching for itself now in terms of its identity. I'm actually optimistic about the future of the party just because I know so many young Republicans that care about climate change and they care about a ton of other issues that I think the country as a whole really cares about. I think addressing climate change is becoming universal among young people. Now, we do debate about policies that what it would take to address that, but I think that's a more fruitful discussion than debating the science. You know, I hear a lot just talking to older people. They like to say, you're too young to know what you're talking about, but at the same time, I'm like, look what we're living in. Like, this isn't how it's supposed to be. I think each generation sort of gets to define what politics is. That's why it's so key for people who I think are level-headed and want to have fruitful discussions to really get involved when they can, because they bring a lot of people with them. They create a culture in which we can talk about these things in a calm way, where you meet new people and they share new ideas. It really starts to mold you and you really sort of come to the best conclusions about how to address an issue. Basketball has been kind of a big part of my life. Being originally from Huntington Beach, California, I'm a huge Lakers fan. The mentality is applicable to any aspect of life, not necessarily just basketball. I had a lot of people around me that have always worked really hard, and I try to bring that to my own life, you know, working hard, whatever I'm doing. You know, growing up during the recession, you know, seeing how bad it was around the country, but personally, you know, it was a struggle for my family. My dad being in construction, probably the hardest hit industry. That really sort of, I guess, defined me. Seeing my dad have to work, you know, 17-hour days, going from his day job for 8 or 9 hours and working till 3 a.m. at night, really showed me what hard work is. I was working on a job with him, and I remember getting job site at 7 a.m. and being there till 2 a.m. Paying for gas with the change in your cup holder, because that's all you really have at the time. You really don't take it for granted anymore, how hard life can be. And I think it really makes you realize the importance of family and sticking together with the people around you, because they help you get through the roughest times. You know, we want to preserve nature for our families. Being outside is key to any child's development. I think it really brings people together in a way that nothing else can. I was born in Huntington Beach, California. I moved to Concord, North Carolina when I was 7. It was a big shift coming from Southern California to the South. I joined Boy Scouts, and that really informed sort of my outdoors experience and camaraderie with people in the outdoors and really learning valuable lessons, learning a lot about myself. I think Republican or conservative values can go hand in hand with, you know, addressing climate change and conservation. I think historically the Republican Party has really had a good history of addressing the environment. It's the party that pushed for conservation, pushed for establishing national parks, pushed for environmental legislation. Young Republicans really want to address climate change. I think it's an overwhelming issue for them. We're really going to be the first generation that is deeply feeling the impacts of climate change, because it's going to start happening everywhere. These are big issues, important issues. You need to think about what's the best way to go. The energy of the young and the wisdom of the old can really come together and I think make a lot of change.